Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is time for another Marvel Contest of Champions news. Let's roll the title sequence. Yes, indeed, it is the 3rd of September edition of Marvel Contest of Champions news. There's not a huge amount of stories to look at this week, but enough to whet your appetite for the flavour of the community. So let's jump into it. And our first story is me. Why not? I'm doing a little bit of self-promotion. Don't normally do quite so much of it. So yes, a video that I've done on Omega Red and Emma Frost, analysing some of the data that we saw from the trailers and also some things about their comic book history to kind of let you know a little bit more about each champion once they've been put in. There's great analysis on abilities, if I do say so myself, and people seem to have enjoyed the video. So if you haven't seen it, take a look. There's a great opening gag and a great finishing gag that kind of ties everything together. I thought it was quite good, but that's incredibly arrogant and egotistical of me. But if you enjoyed the video, you enjoyed the video. Had a laugh, learned some stuff. It's all good. Link is in the description. Next up, and we're on to an opinion piece. It's always very difficult putting these out because everyone has a difference of opinion on matters, and you can go to this forum post and have your say, your different thought processes on the game. But there's so many things that are referenced. One of those being a gold problem, and I'm in a different boat. I probably grind about, let's just say, 100 to 130,000 battle chips every 3 days. Let's just say that. So I'm probably sitting at about 200,000 a week gained. Obviously, the last couple of weeks have been great because we've been able to get a bit more. But 200,000, that roughly then equates to luck-wise, I could generate about 500k, give or take, of gold a time, a week essentially. And you know that can be up, down with gold. It could be better, could be worse. Depends on luck. Could get more units than I do get gold, which some ways is better than others. In any case, the fact is there's so many options of uncollected gold crystal and difference of opinion on thought process. Whether or not you're grinding out the game a lot more and you're getting back that gold exponentially, as well as selling ISO. Like selling ISO gives like a huge amount of gold. I personally don't have a gold problem, but I can see where other people would have a gold problem. The article goes on to talk about crit rates and crit damage, as well as talking about dexterity and frustrations with that. There's also mention of halls of healing, as well as things like the overheating issue in game. There's some things that I feel have been addressed that Kabam have done. I wouldn't say they're perfect in any kind of way. And the article does touch on a few bases with certain people, and I do really agree with some of the comments. Even though I'm a bit kind of on the fence with a few opinions on this, as well, again, it's my personal take to kind of go, right, well, I want to grind out a super amount of arena during certain parts of the week, and that's fine for me, but I don't think I want to do it in future, especially with games coming on the PS4 that I really want to play. It's going to mean that I'm going to then change and rework some stuff. But in any case, there is an ending comment from this particular male or female that I particularly enjoy, and that is talking about the idea of reducing down cost, because units cost a lot of money. If you think about what you could buy with 2 Odins, then it just makes you just a little bit sick of what is going on. Like the 2 Spider-Man PS4 games could be bought for the same amount as an Odin. It's completely ridiculous. But I understand how microtransactions work, especially on devices. I do feel that that will be an ending point, that devices and this kind of stuff where you've got like freemium content, microtransactions, they will change, especially with a lot of physical based discs and physical gaming going out with warnings to parents, not to children, to parents, about microtransactions in game and racking up certain spending. That is a thing now, and I didn't think about 5 years ago that would be a thing, but it's something you're going to see in shops on, say, the latest PlayStation game that maybe have a lot of microtransactions. I mean, Fortnite will be slapped with that certainly very, very soon. But in any case, what are your thoughts on some of the opinions on this? If you want to go to the forum and have your say, or the comment section, it is your choice. Next up, I've seen a few things going around with a rumour that by completing all of the difficulties of this month's Gwenpool Goes to the Movies you unlock some better rewards. This has been noted down as a theory by popular Marvel Contest of Champions YouTuber Prof Hoff. I think that's the wrong image. Is that the right image? This is Prof Hoff? This is Prof Hoff. Okay, right, we'll run with it then. Okay, so Prof Hoff, acting on some information from his followers, said that by completing all levels of difficulties, you get some special rewards. But this might be further clarified as maybe a misreading of the actual announcement when it came to be about a month ago. Now, this all may have been a big misunderstanding based on maybe something that was miswritten by a member of Kabam. In the previous post, they said something about Kabam Zibbit writing the post. This one was done by Kabam Doot, so it's hard to kind of understand where the kind of mix-up has been, but there could have been a legitimate mess-up somewhere. Next up, on something that is blowing up a little bit, and that is sandbagging in Alliance Wars. If you're not familiar with the technique, there's a full kind of like write-up of some kind of criticisms right here. But essentially what alliances are trying to do is sandbag themselves so they can then make climbs and gains a little bit more better than they had done as a problem last season. And also it could be seen as being more of a kind of a break, a holiday, a downtime, which in some ways seems legitimate, but I have experienced it sometimes where alliances have gone, and I have actually experienced this in the last couple of weeks where an alliance we faced off against had put in 2 stars, and there's no kind of like cooperation, there's no kind of like collusion or whatever it is. It was just a case that they were saying they were on a break, and whether or not that is sandbagging or not, it's yet to be seen. But it is a little bit frustrating that is the case, and that is the strategy nowadays. Now, one of the reasons this is indeed blowing up is that people really feel strongly about this, whether or not they're coming up with ideas that, hey, well, they don't like the way that Alliance War Seasons has panned out. They don't like the way that they feel obliged to do it because of the rewards. The other side of things is that they're saying, well, recommendations of how to fix the problem. Like, do they freeze Alliance Wars ratings in order to then stop and deter people from doing the sandbagging? It's a very difficult ball game. Kabam put in a very competitive mode, and at the same time, even though the down season or the kind of the no season feels like it's a rest by this is relaxing, it's not the case, because you're still essentially jostling for position even before the jostling for position part of the season. It's just how it goes. And whether or not you like it or don't like it, it's one of the fundamental ways that's going to help you get better rewards. Even though they only last for a certain smaller time than normal, it is still a frustrating game mode, but we have to play it in order to get something better out of it. It seems the more fluid way of getting 6-star shards currently for players that maybe aren't interested in grinding so much in arena, and also so much to get more 5-star shards. It seems to be the best thing at the moment for that, which is good for some players but also bad for other players. This is very much a hot topic, so if you do have an opinion on this, you can put it in the forum post here. It's always very good and creative to put it in there rather than the comment section, as it does mean that Kabam get to read through this, and whether or not they feel that this is of value, it does get there as feedback to them. If people are unhappy, they get to see it. So if you want to have an opinion on this, go to the forum and have your say. Next up, and let's talk about pure skill. So if you don't know how to put you in the picture, there is a mastery in the masteries called pure skill, and it is obviously of benefit to champions that are skill. But it is a mastery that has promised too much over the years and has not delivered to the player base, with a known issue that has been there for the good part of 12 months. Kabam have promised a lot of time to look into this, and for whatever reason they have not. Now, this does, and why this brings me on to talk about this, well, if they are changing dexterity and they are changing the Mystic Dispersion, as we know that is coming fairly shortly, and they're offering back the units, the mastery cores and things, because they want to make sure that players are happy with the changes, then for people that have invested into pure skill, that is indeed another question. And players and people do feel very passionate about pure skill. They have done for a long time. With videos being made and talking about the problem, it has led on to this particular forum post being raised today, that basically says, you know, well, if Mystic Dispersion people, as well as those that have invested in Dexterity, why can't they get back for pure skill those resources invested? So this is something for Kabam to really look into and address, because people do feel passionately about that, even though it seems to have gone completely quiet from Kabam's behalf, and also the player base have gone, do you know what, we're sick of trying to get at you, Kabam, to try and get you to sort this out. And what do we do now but just go, well, we'll complain about this. And obviously it's got views on this particular post, but it seems it's not as popular at the moment. I don't think people are investing at all into pure skill, and we can all see why. And I hope Kabam take a look into this, because it's very damn important. And our final story, and probably the most important story, is arena results. Now, I think I got it wrong with, I got it wrong. It wasn't Storm that entered. It was MCOC, which is kind of odd, because MCOC, I remember MCOC coming around fairly, it's been fairly recent with MCOC. In any case, whatever. MCOC's in. MCOC only went for 1.82 mil. 1.82 mil. That's ridiculously low. And if I'm thinking what is going to go this midweek, it's probably going to be around 2 mil is going to safely get you him. Just very odd. Very odd. 1.8 mil. Korg went for 13.7, which is no surprise. I can't remember whether or not I kind of pinpointed that around that. But 14 mil will safely get you Korg. And then as well, we're seeing a bit of popular kind of oomph, and we're seeing the 5-star going for 57 mil. And I think with that one, he's either going to go around, I think he's going to drop down low to a 55 mil, but in order to be safe, put in about 58 mil and you'll be fine. But that's going to be quite cool to see how the arena results chart in this Thursday. Probably expect on Friday we'll be talking about how those results were for round 2, and also we'll be talking about the next arena. But yes, those are my predictions, and it's been a very, very good weekend. So that's been Marvel Contest of Champions news. A lot of things I wanted to do over the weekend I didn't manage to achieve. Some stuff I did manage to, other stuff not so much. Because I did talk about doing Gods of War content. I think I'm going to try and aim for that to be tomorrow and record it, and then have something out by the end of the week. And then by the end of the week as well, Spider-Man 4 content, which I'm going to pre-order it today so I can pick up from my local game store. And then when I get home, just chill, get the video made that I need to, come downstairs, play Spider-Man 4, and then get that content up around about midnight UK time, and then make a few other videos over the weekend. So it's going to be a hit it hard on the weekend for Spider-Man 4 content. Really darn excited for that. Cannot wait. But in any case, thank you very much for watching this Marvel Contest of Champions news video. If you did enjoy the news today, hit that like button, subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content. I've been RichTheMan, and as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.